Hey, it's Dave Salvadore with Blue Line Design. Welcome back for part 2 of the 3-part series on storyboarding. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those wonderful little thumbnails that you saw last week, and then I'm going to make them into real storyboard frames that somebody can actually see what's going on in them. I'm only going to be working in black and white because I just want to keep this process fast and loose and have a good time with it. I'm going to be working on the iPad Pro. I have my reference in front of me on another monitor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one frame, demonstrate some of the thinking behind it, and then I'm going to speed up the video for the second part and clean up all the rough frames. And then I'm going to do a part where I just do tone work and add a little lighting to it. You can skip to any of the 3 parts in the description below. Enjoy watching the process. All right, we're going to get right into these storyboards. The first part is the rough part of the process, and here's how I approach this. I create a template that I can draw all my frames on at the same time. Then what I did is I scanned in the thumbnails, converted them into a blue so that I can use those as kind of a guide for what's in the shot. So then what I do is I lay in the perspective lines for whatever is going to be going on in the scene. So here it's going to be the ship and it's landing on Mos Eisley. What I have found is very difficult for me to design something while trying to draw an interesting composition. Think of design as what something looks like, and you think of composition as where those things live. It helped me to separate those two things. So think about it this way. In the rough part of the process, you're thinking of where everything is going to go. And it can be very simple shapes. So for example, here the ship is landing and there's going to be some buildings around it. And I know, from watching Star Wars that Mos Eisley has kind of like dome-shaped buildings, okay? And there's like a wall here and there's going to be another building here. And you're not getting too bogged down into any details at all. So the landing pad or the landing area is going to be here. That's all you're drawing for that part of the frame. And the other thing is going to be his ship. Now, if I just think of, his ship as basic shapes, it's kind of a rectangle, and then it's got 2 cylinders on it for his engines. What I'm going to do is keep it very loose like this in the rough part of the phase. I know it has like a kind of a thing that goes out in the back, and then there's going to be some landing gear coming down, and I'm just keeping it super loose. Basically, that's it. And the reason why I keep it loose like this is so that I can compose the shot better. So for example, if I want it more like this, I can distort it a little bit. See, it's kind of landing. It's a little cooler. Also, the the scale of it's a little big. I can bring it down. Then I can move the landing area down so that you can see the ship more clearly. Just think of where everything's going to go. Then you'll see me, after I rough everything out, you'll see me in the cleanup phase. They tighten up a little bit more, and that is more the design phase and where I'm thinking of what everything looks like. So I hope that helps you understand why you need to keep everything very loose in the rough part of it, because you're only thinking of where everything goes. So in the toning process, the first thing I do is make some pieces out of things that I'm going to animate later. Then what I do is I lay in some tones to sell mood and shadows and highlights for the entire sequence. I think my Greedo's looking a little like Mick Jagger. So I hope you enjoyed watching part 2 of the 3-part series on storyboarding. Next week, I'm going to take those frames and I'm going to create a small animatic out of them using iMovie with sound effects. I mean, like good sound effects, not me going. Okay. If you wouldn't mind hitting the subscribe button down below, it'd really help me out. If you'd like to check out the high resolution version of the frames, you can click into the description below. Till next week, keep drawing, keep designing.